I'm not even gonna introduce you. Like, I'm just gonna start off hot and
All
heavy.
right.
If you had one animal to represent you based off your personality, what animal would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say I've always loved dolphins. I would say like I'm on
Dolphin?
a dolphin, yeah, because I feel like I'm pretty friendly. I like to be around my friends a lot.
So like,
Um,
yeah, the dolphins moving herds and stuff like that, right?
I like to do like little side quests. Like I feel like dolphins kind of do whatever they wish,
All
and
right,
they like
all right.
move around. They're free.
Yeah, that's fine. I see you. I see you as a dolphin. Not
Yup,
gonna lie, I
yup.
do see you as a
It's just
dolphin.
fun,
Yeah, my friends call me a walrus.
bruh. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
Is that like a compliment or an
I
insult?
thought it was a little racist, but no, it is what it is.
Okay, let's go.
What is up, guys? Sorry, that was kind of loud. What's up, guys? We are back. This is episode 7 of the That's So Real podcast. I am so excited. We're having guests on here every single Sunday, 7 p.m., having guests talking about their different perspectives of life after high school and just talking about a bunch of relatable topics. Today, we got Selina.
Hey, what's up, guys? Excited to be here, you know?
No, I got Selena. Selena's a really good friend of mine. We all actually all the guests that I've had so far, we've all actually been in the same friend group.
Yes.
I believe. So I think from Jaylene's to Jackie, Joe, Pete, who else was before you? Jordan.
Yes.
Like we're all in the same friend group, and we've all just connected this year. We all have different perspectives and different like point of views of life, and we just connected over that. So. What's up, Selena? How's your week?
It was good. It's
Yeah.
very eventful, but it's I like actually having things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were busy?
Yeah, honestly, yes. A lot of side quests. Even
Side
though I'm not
quests?
working, like it's still like sometimes life, life is lifing.
Life is lifing, bro.
Yeah.
How's that the job hunt going? Is it good?
It's good, it's good. Honestly, the job market's a bit tough, so if anyone's out there right now and they're looking for a job, like I feel you. I feel you, you know?
Yeah.
Especially figuring things out like post grad.
Mhm.
I think it takes a bit of navigation.
Yeah.
Navigation. And yeah, no, it's been a couple months, but I think I kind of learned like how to do like better like searching because I think in the beginning I was just like applying to a bunch of things, but
Mm.
now I've like narrowed down like more things that I like, and also I've learned to tailor my resume to like each role. I think even though it's like timely, like I think sorry, even
You're
though
good,
it
you're
takes a
good.
lot of time, I think it actually helps a lot because right now like everything's like AI scanned, so I
Dang.
think it's important to have like the keywords that they're looking for.
Yeah, you're telling me about
Yeah.
AI, bro. Me and Pete actually talked about this last week. Bro, AI is like taking over all jobs, bro, completely, bro. Like
I
if
know.
for example, like I have a bunch of friends that are comp sci majors. I said this in the last episode, but I have a bunch of friends that are comp sci majors and they get like 4.0 GPAs and they're still struggling to get a job, bro.
I know. It's sad because back then I feel like that was advertised as like
One of the best.
yeah, one of the best
in
majors to
2020.
have.
Yeah.
And it's just like wow, the tables have turned for
Tables
real.
have turned, bro.
Yes.
They switched up on them, bro.
Yeah, no, as much as AI is like, oh my gosh, we're all getting our jobs taken away, like I also can't imagine my life without ChatGPT. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm that person
Yeah.
that uses it for everything. Like I just taught my mom how to use it because she kept asking me for like help with stuff.
Dude,
And I was
would-
like, girl, ask ChatGPT, let me show you.
all right, be honest,
Yeah.
be honest, be honest. Have you ever like ran a text through ChatGPT?
Bro, like
No, no, be
all the
honest.
time. Like
No, but-
emails, every email I send
Email.
out, like
Bro, I'm telling
guilty.
you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. The amount of times I just didn't know how to respond to text. I would screenshot the text and then put it in chat, be like, chat, how would you respond? And just
No,
see how they
literally.
respond. And if their like answer was like pretty like solid, then I would text it like that. But yeah, bro, chat, bro. Shout out to chat, bro. Whoever made ChatGPT, bro. You guys are
The best.
you guys are the best. You guys are the best.
Don't look through my history, please. That's exposing me for real.
But tell me more about yourself. What is something that you do and like you aspire to do in the future, and what, how was your experience in college? I would say like
Mm.
what like did you being in college like aspire to do something in the future, or like did you study something specifically? Like tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I actually went to Northeastern University in
Mm.
Boston. I graduated in May of 2025, which is, oh my gosh, it's been 1 year, guys. I studied econ and business, and in our business program, like we have to choose a specific concentration. So mine was brand management, which is kind of like a sector of marketing, a bit more specific to branding. I really loved college. I think it was just I think being away from home was really nice for me
Mm,
because it was my first time like moving out of New York. I've lived here my whole life.
yeah.
I think I needed a change, and being independent, like I think it pushed me to grow because I had to take care of things on my own. And it was really nice dorming too because all my best friends like lived near me, and I think it was a very like fruitful time. Like there were obviously like a lot of hard times too, but I
Yeah.
think overall looking back, like there was a lot of growing that happened in college.
Mm,
Um, yeah, no, in terms of like my career, I feel like I'm still figuring it out. But what I really love right now is marketing. And the reason why I love it is because like I feel like I've always been someone with very creative ideas. So I love being able to see those like ideas come to life, especially like for like products and stuff. It's super
yeah.
exciting for me. I've tried like other jobs too, like in finance and sales, and I realized that those weren't for me. But yeah, no, I'm still like honestly figuring it out. Like I've never been I was talking to Eduardo like last week when we had lunch about
Yeah.
how like I was never one of those people.
Eduardo here. If y'all don't know.
Wow, we didn't know. No, I was
Okay.
talking to him about how I feel like I was always envious of the people who kind of knew what they were doing from a young age,
Mm,
right? Like they were like, "Oh, I always wanted to be a doctor since I was 5." I was never one of those people. I feel like when people asked me that question growing up, it always changed, you know? So I think I'm still on the hunt. But I think in college, I realized one of my passions was food and cooking food, reviewing food. Like I grew up watching like the cooking Food Network is what it's called. I realized I had a really strong passion for food. Growing up, my mom and dad were both really good at cooking, so I think in that way, like I had a great exposure to like different kinds of food, like all different kinds of Asian food, but also like we went out to eat a lot of different cuisines. So I think
mm.
from a young age, I was never a picky eater. And then growing up, I had a lot of good food at home, and in college, like suddenly, like I had to fend for myself. You know, I had to learn
Yeah.
how to cook. And I think I fell in love with cooking, like just experimenting new recipes. I always invited friends over. I loved to host a lot of my close friends. They would come over. I would cook dinner, or we do like a little potluck.
Yeah.
So that was like honestly one of my favorite things. And I realized that like my dream job, honestly, outside of like marketing and like professional world, would be to like travel the world and be able to like be paid to like go to these cool restaurants and like try the
Yeah.
food,
I was
you know,
about to
live a
say, like,
review.
a job that would be fire is like a food marketer,
Yes,
right?
that's low key like one of my dream jobs. But also I have a food Instagram. It's at me so ready to eat, so you can follow that.
Shout out at me so ready to eat, bro.
Yes.
Follow up. See all the foods that she's eating from around the world. You traveled recently, right? Didn't you go somewhere?
Yeah, I went to Taiwan. That's where my family is from. I love it there. There's a lot of good food and everything is like literally a fraction of the price here. Like when I came back, it's like the reverse culture shock. It's like, dang man, boba's like $10 here.
How much is boba there?
It's like literally like $2.
You're
So like
lying.
no, every time I go back, I have to like lock in when I come back because I'm like I'd be getting fat, you know?
Nah, stop it, bro. That's crazy, bro. $2 boba, bro. Dang,
Yeah,
bro. I get boba every day then.
I know. No, literally, I'm like I'm gonna get diabetes, yeah, bro, at this rate. And there's so many different
Dang.
flavors, and it's like literally on every corner.
What's your favorite
So,
boba?
ooh, boba spot or boba like tea? Like which flavor?
I see. I don't know much about boba, but like, what's your favorite like ever boba? Like flavor,
Ooh,
not spot, just
okay.
flavor.
It depends on my mood, but I really like fruit teas, especially in the summer because they're so like refreshing.
That's true.
Specifically, I would say like passion fruit is really really good,
Mm.
and also I really like any like mix of fruits, like a fruity drink, you
Do you
know.
like the little bobas that pop, like the popping boba, or
Um,
not? You're not a big fan of
Honestly,
that.
I'm not a big fan of things that are too sweet, so I generally don't like that. But I like the brown sugar boba.
Okay.
Fun fact: I used to work at a boba shop. That was my first job in high school.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
fire.
yeah,
That's
that's probably
fire.
where the addiction got worse, honestly.
That's fire. So you actually know how to make boba then?
Yes, guys, I literally have all the recipes written down, but like obviously, like I can't
So you got me
reveal.
right. You got me
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Don't tell anyone, guys.
No, I'm dead. Dang, that's crazy. That's good. Good for you, bro.
Yeah.
So you're talking about your time in Yukon and
Oh, Northeastern.
Northeastern. I
All
don't
good,
know
all
why I
good.
said.
That's Jordan's school.
Oh yeah, I was thinking. I don't know why. But what's it called? How are you with your roommates? Was that good too? Like it
Oh
was calm.
yes. Okay. So actually, like I had posted on one of those Instagrams for my college,
Mm-hmm.
asking for like a roommate. I was like, this is like a bit about me, like blah blah blah. I wanted a Christian roommate just because I knew my faith was important to me, and I wanted to
Yeah.
have someone that had the same values. So my roommate actually found me through the post, and she DM'd me. And then we ended up talking, and we were like, oh my gosh, we should room together. And we actually were roommates from freshman year to senior year, which is crazy.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
really hit it off then, huh?
Yes, yes. And then in between, like, so my sophomore and junior year, I actually had three roommates total. So it was her and two of my other friends. But I realized it was a lot harder to live with, like, when you started with friends rather than starting from roommates. Just
Mm.
because when you're friends with someone, when things come up, it's a bit more like hard to bring up because you don't have the practice of doing that normally as
Yeah,
much.
like the confrontation of it.
Yeah, the confrontation was hard. So then I think my last year we decided to do just me and her again, like kind of like freshman year time.
Hmm.
And I love that a lot. I think I just need a lot of quiet and peace when I'm home. And like sometimes having too many roommates is like overwhelming.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
that. Dude, I'm telling you, I had actually I was legit in the situation you were just talking about, where
really.
I had not a situation, but my roommate for my freshman year was my best friend since kindergarten,
Oh my
which was
gosh.
crazy. He was my Me and him, we went to the same high school, to the same school from elementary school and halfway through middle school, right? But then he moved. He moved, so we and him were in the same school, but we still
Mhm.
stayed in touch, and we were still really good friends. So he was like, he legit became one of those family friends, right?
Yeah.
Because my family loves their family, like we're all really close.
Aw,
And then we both applied to the same college, and we ended up being roommates. And
that's
then it was crazy.
crazy.
And you know what I loved about that though? It was legit like it was so bad because he's like a night owl and I'm an early
Oh
guy.
no,
So like
yeah.
he's coming back hanging out with his friends at like 5 a.m. and that's what I'm getting up for
Oh
practice. So
heck
that,
no,
so
I
we're
can't do
all
that.
like that's the only way we correlate, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually so much easier when you room with someone because the thing is, I feel like if you room with someone that you don't really connect with, I feel like that changes the whole dynamic of college. I don't
Mhm.
know if you can agree with that because like
Yeah.
it really like because technically your room is like basically like you're supposed to be like safe space, right? So like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be
They're
like
so important. I feel like having a bad roommate like really ruins the vibe because I had a lot of friends, especially first year because nobody knew anybody.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
there were some friends that were telling me like horror stories and I was like, wow, I'm so grateful. Shout out
yeah.
Nancy, who was my roommate of 4 years. Love you.
Shout out Nancy, shout out my boy Rago too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. That's great. What do you think college has taught you?
I
You
think
would say right now.
college taught me that I think it's okay to set boundaries. I think I had a really hard time, like even confrontations with like my roommates and friends. I think my whole life I realized I was kind of a bit of a people pleaser.
Mm,
And I think it's just the way I grew up and just being in school as a very like good student and everything. I just did what I was told. But I think that also meant that like sometimes when things happen, like I didn't speak up when I should have. And I think when I lived with four roommates, like I had to learn how to like confront them, even though it was so stressful for me. And I think looking back, it was really hard, but it like made me grow a lot as a person. Like communication is really important because I think I'm good at communicating, but I feel like I used to like hold things in a lot when I
the
was like
hard
upset.
conversations, you know.
Yeah, like I would have a really hard time bringing up things that I didn't like. Like obviously I
Yeah.
could talk about like nice things. But yeah, I realized that like there's some even like going to college and like having boundaries with family members, like like sometimes I couldn't pick up, and I think my parents had to learn like they're not going to be there like at every single phone call, and that's okay because like they're also like an independent person. I think it was like with family and friends, like I think I grew a lot from that. I don't know how has that been for you? Like, have you been someone who like set like were you able to set boundaries like growing up, or do you feel like you still struggle with that?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key like you. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I feel like I hit a little bit of that people pleaser. A lot of people tell me that like
Mm,
I'm more of a try to make everybody happy type
yeah.
beat, you know?
It's
Cause
like we
like
want peace and harmony, but like sometimes like you could have peace and harmony, but sometimes like you need to like put your foot down too
you
and
know the
stand
thing,
on business,
dude.
guys.
The thing about me too is like the worst part about that too is that I get irritated quickly. I
Mm.
get yeah. You smile like this me too, bro. No, I get irritated quickly. Like I get like really like a person. I don't know. Like I'm not talking. I'm not shy. I'm not talking to anyone specific or anyone out there that like knows me. But I'm just saying um, like I get really annoyed quickly. Like I don't know.
Mm.
It's like something if someone like does something that like rubs the wrong way or like something that someone that's trying to hold this. I feel like all right.
Bro, I
I
just
think
remember Eduardo being hungry last week from his fast, and he was so cranky. He like literally like he left without saying bye to all of us, and
I
everyone was like,
said
"Bro, where did
what?
he
I was
go?"
like, I'm out. I'm out, y'all. But what's it called?
I feel
Yeah,
you.
like I literally tried to like I don't know, like for like the reason why I would say Raghav or yeah, Ragov is one of my best friends. Is because when I get irritated with him, like he's the only one who wouldn't budge. Like he would just irritate me even more. Like
Mm.
so, like that kind of like created that unbreakable bond that me and him have.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, like I get irritated quickly, like for like anything. Like I don't know, like
Mm.
something like kind of pisses me off. If it's like if I'm not having a great day and someone pisses me off, like I'm just like I wouldn't crash out on them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like I would have it in my mind and then crash out it on something else. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't. I'm not really great with confrontation at all because
Yeah.
I don't. Again,
Same.
I don't want to make the person feel bad about themselves or whatever.
Mhm.
But I'm also a person that like that doesn't mean like I'm okay with anything everyone does. You know, I
No,
just deal with it a
facts,
bad
yeah.
way. You know.
Yeah. Do
So
you feel like
yeah, I relate with you on that.
sorry.
No, go.
Do you feel like you wear your heart like on your sleeve? Like as in like when you get irritated, do you think people can tell? Or do you think like or do you think it's like internal where like you seem
Dude,
calm but inside you're crashing out?
if you ask the people who know me, they know like it's so obvious. Like when I'm annoyed, it's so obvious. And sometimes I really try to hide it, but
Yeah.
like it's like I legit can't.
I
Like,
honestly like that more than if you hide it just because like
it's less fake, right?
right? And also like I feel like it's more stressful like when you don't show your emotion because nobody can read your mind. So like people won't know. Like if you're holding it in, like sometimes people can't tell. And then they suddenly like I feel like people tend to like snap when they hold things in.
That's the
And that's the thing that's tough.
That's legit. Like that's the thing though. Like I like I'm trying to think. Like if you talk to some of my friends, like they'll be like, "Yo, Eduardo's tripping, bro." But
do you wouldn't crash out?
no, that's what I'm saying. What's it called? If all right, if I'm upset, like a lot of people say this, like it's not like I wouldn't. I don't know. Like I wouldn't mention it,
Mm-hmm.
but like everybody would know that I'm
you're
upset.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, but like I wouldn't talk about it.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
everybody would know that. Like, all right, bro. Like, it's like saying it without not saying it.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So like, it's like everybody would like. It's like, all right, like we can't do anything else because
Yeah.
So like that's legit how I be sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie there. I'm man enough to admit that. But
No, I feel you. I feel like sometimes I'm like that too. I'm like I try to hide it just
Yeah, you
because I don't
crash
want it
out.
to affect people, but sometimes I can't. Like it depends on how bad it is. If it's like a little thing, I usually can. But if it's like a big thing, I like need to like separate myself so I can crash out like by myself.
Oh my days, bro. I crash out by myself all the
I
time.
can't.
Cause like yeah, yeah, I'm a big crash out. Before I'm trying to get better at that since I've been following the path of Christ, right? Because
Yeah.
before in high school and even college, and, at times even now, like I'm still working on it. I'm still working
Let's
on
be
it.
real here.
I'm gonna be real. Even now, like at times, like not as much, but before, like again, like if I would be upset, like I would find someone else to talk to about the situation. I'd be like,
Mhm.
bro, I need to rant to someone. Like that's
No,
how I would say
literally.
that. I was like, I need to rant to someone. So I rant about it,
Mhm.
and then like that's the only way I'd get it out. But I'd never actually confront and talk about the actual situation. So
Mm.
working on it. You know.
I
you know
feel
how
that.
it
I'm
be.
kind of like that too, where I need to talk to a friend.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like when, like, let's say I'm in like a conflict or like a situation where like I am upset about something, I need like time to cool off. I'm not like one of those people that can just like talk about it right
No,
away.
yeah,
Like,
you
you need
gotta
to wait
chill
till I
out.
cool down a little
Yeah.
bit, because otherwise, like, no good words are gonna come out of the mouth.
I'm not gonna
like,
lie, you seem very scary if you're mad. Like if
Oh,
you were, I would
really?
not want to get mad. Like you get mad at me, bro. I feel like
I'm dead.
I feel like I'd be so scared.
I'm
bro.
very rarely mad, so if I'm mad at you, you probably did something really wrong. Like,
I
not
would
gonna lie.
Don't get Selina mad, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
Dang, man. I don't know. It's like, I feel like I don't get mad unless you really do something, you know? Like,
Mhm.
I told you, like, I usually get, like, more frustrated than anything else.
Mm.
But, like, I, like, even though I get mad, I will get over it really quickly. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's, like, a good thing about me. Like, I might
Oh,
feel
you'll
the
get
emotion.
over it?
Yeah, like, I might, like, it might be very intense inside for me for a bit, but then I'm, like, the next day
yeah.
I'm, like, fine again,
That's
you know?
good. That's good.
So, like, I don't really hold grudges, but I do, like, let myself feel the emotion.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
legit. Okay, yeah, that's legit. Like, yeah, it's because it's too much energy to hold a grudge.
Exactly. Like, I'm just, like, the next day I sleep on it and suddenly, like, I'm fine again. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
it's
what was I
like, move
crashing
on.
out about? Like,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I personally think that's a good trait. You know, because like
Mhm.
I feel like holding grudges is too much energy. You know, like I never like. That's why I could say like I get easily irritated by people, but I don't have a long term hate on anyone.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just people irritate me, and then I crash out, and then that's kind of it. You know.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. But like I think like I said, like it's good that you just like they know everybody knows that you're feeling that way. So like it's
Yeah,
not a secret, you know?
yeah. I try. I
Yeah.
really try sometimes, but like people are like, "Yeah, Eddie's mad." Let's talk more into post college, right?
Mhm.
So you mentioned before that you're currently in the job hunt, right?
Yes, I
What
am.
What do you think? I'm gonna ask you. What do you think are the? I don't want to say three. Give me one of the toughest transitions
Mhm.
from the school life to the like maybe job life, or like you can talk about like outside of the traditional study, homework, test,
Yeah.
repeat. Like
Mhm.
what is the hard part of transitioning from that after post graduation?
Oh, I know what it is. So I think this is a big one for me because I went to school out of state. So obviously
Mm,
moving out and like I said earlier, like I found my community in college. Like I was involved in a lot of things. Like I was in a Christian a cappella group, and those people became some of my closest friends. And then I also had friends like from here and there, like different areas or clubs I was in or classes. And I think being constantly around like friends and people that like could support you like at any hour of the day basically like it was so comforting and nice. But I think moving out of college, like it was really hard for a bit because like moving home, when you go away, for 4 years, like even though you have like high school friends and home friends, you don't really talk to them as much while you're away. So
mm.
it's kind of like when you come back,
It's kind of
like
like
yeah, you're kind of like, who is my friend now? Like I'm not really sure. Like I have a couple of friends from high school still, but most of them, like a lot of them, I ended up falling away from or like drifting, which is normal. I think losing friends is a part of the process of like growing. Like I think I had a lot of friends who were younger, like in college, like freshman or sophomore year. Like they're always sad that they're losing like some of their high school friends, but I think it's really normal too because I feel like people change a lot in college, especially where you end up really affects like who you're going to become. If you are a believer like I am, I think a lot of times God does kind of change your friends while you're away, especially growing your faith because he kind of knows like who he wants you walking with at a certain point in your life. And that's not
mm,
a bad thing, but I think coming home from college, it's kind of hard because I like had all my friends there and now everyone's home and like
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
well, now everyone's working and everyone's like either working or getting their masters, so like time is very limited now with them. So like I think it changes the friendship a lot because in order to maintain a friendship you need to put a lot more effort than you did before because you can't just walk next door, and you can just go to their place. It's like you guys, like I have a friend who lives in Maryland, I have one in like Australia now, like she just moved there, and it's like hard because like you need to balance like your own life here, but also if you want to keep this friendship going, like you also need to like find times to talk to them, like FaceTime, which
Yeah.
has been a big thing for me. Like I FaceTime some of my friends all the time just because I don't know. It's always nice to just hear from them because you can't always visit them because that's a lot of traveling and logistics too, and it's not always possible. And I think it could be a very, I think, lonely time for a lot of people. I think when I first left, it was a bit hard, and I think also when I started working my first job out of college, like I was under a lot of stress. So it felt like I was under a lot of stress, but I didn't have a good support system. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So that was a really hard time for me. It was in September. So long story short, I basically was started at this job. It was a client services job at an expert network in the city, and I really quickly realized, like a couple weeks in, that it was not for me for a lot of different reasons. I was like constantly stressed and burnt out already, like even in the beginning. And I had to make like the difficult decision to leave. And like that time was like honestly like a pretty big crash out time for me. Um, and I think like losing, like having to leave that job, it made me like really question like what I was doing with my life. Like I was like,
mm.
what am I doing? Like I feel like because college is so like structured and
And
like
then you're just
and
like,
then suddenly you're thrown into the real world and it's like, well, figure it out. Like that's what it felt like. Like I felt like leaving that job, I was like, I knew this was a bad job market too. Like everybody's talking about that. And so it was kind of like you just gotta trust God. But that took me a long time to learn. I feel like it took me months and months of like constantly like in community with people at church, also talking to friends, and also just like self growth. I think realizing that your worth is not from your job or what you do in this life, but the worth, like if you're a believer, like your worth is found in the Lord or like who God says you are. And I think that, yeah, it really changed my perspective because my whole life, I know you were an athlete and you worked really hard. I was the same way, but in like academics. Like I tried really hard in school. I got good grades. I think I did everything in my eyes that I thought would get me like success, basically, even in college. And yet here I was like, I'm 22, like I quit my job, like this economy is really bad. Like I'm living in my parents' house. Like I felt so lost, I think. And I think it was a really hard time, but it was important because I think in those seasons you really learn like how to trust God, and you also really grow like in character, even if you don't see it back then in hindsight you'll see like all the growth. So yeah, like I'm still in that process now, but things have gotten a lot better. Like I think God's starting to open the doors for me in terms of like interviews and also just friends, like finding community at church. I worked like a in between job at Crate and Barrel, if you guys know what that is. It's like a furniture homeware store and it's near my house.
Mm.
And so I actually made a couple friends there too, which is really random and it was kind of fun. But yeah, I think I'm still figuring things out, you know? Like I
As we
think
all are.
every time you think you know what's happening, like you know.
Dude, thank you for answering
Yeah.
that, dude. I honestly, I think you just literally preached like 90% of what people our age go through,
Mm,
you know? And I think you saying that just shows a lot of growth in your mindset, right?
mm-hmm.
And it's inspirational to others, you know? Maybe there's another I think I talked about this with Selena last week, but maybe there's another Selena like younger
Yeah.
version, right? That you just spoke out and talked about that struggle and like being vulnerable and just showing that they're not alone or whoever's going through something tough like that. So thank you so much for answering that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's the job itself is not like the job itself is not what's gonna give you like satisfaction or anyone like that feeling of
Mm-hmm.
complete. And I feel like a lot of people mistake that. Like like, oh, I got a job,
Yeah.
and then they just keep trying to like be like, oh, like I'm successful. Like it's not that. It's a path.
Mm-hmm.
It's a path and it's God as well. It's
Yeah.
mainly God. It's 100% God. Sorry, not mainly God. 100% God.
Period.
And but also like in physically speaking terms and stuff like that, it is also the path. Like people search for like path goals. That's why it's the first time that people go leave college and they don't see a path. They don't
Yeah.
see like a okay, I have this goal to reach now. Like
Yeah.
because it's everybody else has different types of goals. So they're like they're like, oh shoot, like what am I striving for now? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's easy in school. In school, what are you striving for? Graduating, getting your degree, getting good grades. So everyone's
Yeah.
striving for. So um that is relatable. That's real.
Yeah, no, because I feel like especially in your 20s, it's like a very big period of change from college to graduating college. Like I think you start to feel this like I guess imposter syndrome. Like everybody starts to feel it. Like, am I doing enough? Or am
Mm,
I feel so behind. I feel like I thought that to myself too. Like I feel so behind because like you see people like working at their first job, loving it, moving up, getting promoted, and then you see other people who are like getting engaged, and you're like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, like there's no way people are getting engaged. Like I'm 23. Like I feel too young to be like doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like all these I think all these societal expectations that you start to put on yourself, and I think that's the danger of like comparison because everyone's life is moving at a different pace. Like someone might be very ahead in one area, but they might be very behind in another area. And who knows like what's really going on because you only see like on social media like the good side of everything. You don't really know what people are going through, you know? So I think that's something important to keep in mind that like your growth and your pace is not going to be someone else's pace.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I keep repeating on here to the people who are watching. I keep saying that no one's by themselves. Everyone struggles, and yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna ask you how you don't have to give your full on testimony, but I
Hmm.
want to ask you your maybe before mindset and after mindset of when you found faith and when you didn't.
Hmm.
When you weren't. Like you could be as general as you want. You could be as specific as you want. You could answer however you want. You
Hmm.
like I'm just asking like how is your journey going through it? Like how is your mental wise or something like that.
Yes, I knew this question was coming. I was like mentally on the way here. I was like,
Jaylee said the
yeah,
same
I
thing
was like
too.
low key. I need to think about how I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, and you don't have to give. I know a lot of people are like still work. Like you don't have to
Hmm.
give your full specific testimony. It doesn't. It's not. It's not what this like. You don't have to like expose yourself to the world. People watching. But yeah.
No, yeah. So a bit about my testimony, I guess. I came to faith, or I came to Christ and got baptized my first year of high school, so my freshman year. So it was actually a while ago, but I feel like so much has changed since then. Like it's hard to believe, like it's been that long. Because I think when you first get baptized, you feel like it feels like your life is going to change immediately. But the reality is like walking with the Lord in life is a very difficult thing. And I think the more you get into faith, the more you realize that it's full of life is full of suffering, you know. But the good thing is that like the Lord is always with you, and I think that's um it's very easy to say, but it's something that's kind of hard to believe at times. And I started believing in God because of my own experiences, because I grew up in the church since I was a baby. Like my parents were Christian, so I was raised in the church, you know. So like I knew like all the stories growing up about the Bible, like Noah's Ark, like all those, you know, all those Bible verses that we had to memorize. But they were all just like head knowledge to me until like around middle school, I'd say, middle like end of middle school. I was really struggling with my mental health at that point, and I feel like at that time, like even though I knew all these things about church and God, it never really felt real to me, like emotionally. So it just felt like something I was doing because my family was doing it. I guess it didn't feel like personal to me.
Mm.
And yeah, so when I was struggling, I remember I feel like there were days where I felt like really hopeless and sad, and like I remember there was a lot of things happening in my life at that point, but I remember like reading the Bible and not feeling anything from it. Like I'd be like how come like it doesn't feel so magical and like miraculous like whenever I read and like pray, you know? And it wasn't until I prayed one night, like it was like one of those prayers that like you're on your hands and knees because you hit rock bottom and you're just like, God, I have nothing else to give, but here's what's going on. And I feel like I didn't do that before that for some reason. Like I think that was the first time I really prayed with like a genuine heart, like telling God like all the things I was going through, which he already knows, by the way. And after I prayed, I remember like I felt so much peace, and like it felt like a supernatural peace. Like it felt like I felt like physically like it felt like
You
um a
did.
weight was like lifted off my chest, but I can't describe it as like it's hard to describe because it felt like it was from the Lord, and I knew it immediately because I felt so much peace, and like I had not felt peace in so long. And I think from that day forward, I knew that God was real and that He heard me. And I think from then on, that's the reason why I got baptized and I started actually like having a personal relationship with God. Um, but I would say like throughout college, my faith was tested like all the time. Like
Mm.
whether if it was like through friendships, through like possible like relationships, just like going through life, like there are going to be a lot of challenges that you're going to face that will put you to the test. Like there's a lot of times where I don't know, the lies from the enemy like they get to you, especially like cuz everyone has their own weaknesses. Um and for me like I tend to worry, so like whenever I go through those periods like I feel like I get very anxious and like I have a hard time trusting God. Um, and I feel like God had to teach me how to still seek Him even in those moments where I didn't feel Him or I didn't feel like doing stuff like praying, like going to church. And I think through there were I think junior year was my big like turning point I would say in my faith because I had a really rough year. Like there were I was dealing with things from home like family issues, and then um I was dealing with
Junior year of high school or college?
no
College. Oh, college.
college.
College. College.
Yeah, no, junior was like I like in my brain sometimes I'm like I wish that didn't happen, but I also am really thankful. I was going through a job that I really hated and I was very stressed. Like, it was like my internship and I was there for like 6 months. So it was that plus family stuff, plus personal issues that I was dealing with at school. Like that all like combined in my brain, and I think it made me like really crash out like all the time. Like I think I was kind of depressed, I think my junior year. And I didn't but during that time I remember because I felt so weak, I like would call like a couple of friends every morning and I'd make them pray for me. Literally like 7 a.m. before work, I would be like, let's pray on the phone. And like I thought it was so ridiculous maybe at the time when I started, but I feel like over time like it really showed God's faithfulness through our prayers because I they would pray for me, I'd pray for them. And that was a very like it got me through that season like low key like it was so bad. But coming out of it, I realized God was protecting me from a lot of things. Like people that I thought were like for me were not for me, you know? And like I think coming out of it, God had to remove certain people, but then He ended up replacing with other people who were better in my life, you know. And I think I'm just really grateful that I had such a hard year because it made me realize that like at the end of the day, like the only person that truly knows you and loves you is the Lord.
That's whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for coming on here. You know, I love doing this. Honestly, I found something that I really love. I love having people over and just talking about their point of views and just being able to relate on that, you know. Saying that's so real is not just the title, it's actually something real that people don't talk about. So, thank you again, Selina.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
To the viewers, guys, thank you so much for watching, and just, you know, being able to take your time and just watching these episodes and watching the show. You know, this whole podcast is not just about blowing up or, you know, grading all the viewers. You know, this is about reaching out to those people or that one person or two, whoever, that's just going through some problems and just feeling like they're all alone and they're only ones going through some situations outside of high school and they feel like their path is not clear. Me and Selina are full proof. We're living proof that you are not by yourself, that we all go through this and you're not alone. So thank you so much for watching. We're wrapping it up. We're here every Sunday, 7 p.m. This is the closing of That's So Real. I'll catch you all guys next week. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.